The reason why we got into mixed forages is it's a more labour efficient, profitable way of controlling an unwanted species that also increases soil health, but also increases animal production, therefore more profit, better cash flow. G'day, I'm Sid Brummell. We're at Marilla here, 15 kilometres west of Glen Innes. 460 hectares, predominantly basalt, about an 800 mil rainfall that's changing with climate. We are a mixed enterprise farm of fine wool merinos, prime lambs, trading cattle, summer cropping, winter cropping. We also run a small seed contracting business. Predominantly we're a grazing enterprise, and we've really started to focus on mixed annuals and mixed perennials. So we got into mixed species and multiple species through some failed permanent pasture attempts of monocultures that basically were a waste of money. We then dived into the multi-species off our own bat, but more of an annual base to try and fill the winter feed gap. The initial mix that we went to was just Nile oats with USA red clover, and whilst that was good, we needed more variety to keep animal production increasing. This mix is our go-to, a mixture of brassicas, turnips, tillage radish, ryegrass, common vetch and oats. The benefits of using this mix is taproots punching into compacted ground. We've got the legumes that we've inoculated, so they're going to be pulling in a lot of nitrogen, free nitrogen. Plus, from those brassicas, we've got a big punch of protein along with the energy from the oats and the ryegrass. We transitioned from the two crops into the more diverse multi-species, and we did that for a variety of reasons. We just knew that if we had multiple mixes, we were always going to be guaranteed fodder. Another major reason was we've got a terrible problem of Chilean needlegrass here. So it's helping control the needlegrass by literally breaking that cycle. We're not letting that needlegrass go to head. Normally, our other control measures were mulching, so you're sitting on a tractor for hours, back and forth, burning about a ton of diesel. We tried spray topping, the weather then turned off and we bloody nuked the whole paddock. So again, we've had a loss of production from that, whereas this is, yes, there's a cost, but the ROI is way better. We would normally aim at sowing mid-February, 6 to 8 weeks post-sowing, we're able to graze. We're then grazing that 5 to 6 times until it becomes less productive, and we're starting to hit those warmer spring months, and then it'll all be terminated and re-sown into something else. So we're aiming to leave at least 1,000 kilograms of dry matter, so like 10 centimetres, and then we pull everything off, let it rejuvenate, let it grow back up to knee high, and stock it again and rotationally graze it that way. We've got multiple paddocks of this happening throughout the farm, so we're able to shift stock onto the same pastures or same grazing scenarios so that their animal production is continually increasing and going well. So we got involved with the DPI's on-farm validation trial of sowing costs of a multiple species versus a monoculture and the animal production of the two sites. So last year was our first year of the on-farm validation trials, and we were really quite surprised about the growth rates, the ADGs we got off the mixed species versus the oats. That just blew our minds. Since starting the multi-species, we've learnt a couple of things along the way. One is sowing time, 2 is sowing depth, 3 is grazing management. Sowing depth is number 1. This was all sown at about 15 mils to give every seed a chance of germinating, or otherwise you're having oats jump ahead and choking out your your other species that aren't as, have that vigor. Second learning curve would be time of sowing. Within sowing dates, some will jump ahead and want to go to head. So you've really got to be mindful and do some study and go, how early can I sow this? How late can I sow this? So I can get the most production out of it. Number 3 is grazing management. The biggest learning curve we had was preferential grazing, especially with the lambs. They'll pick and they'll eat the ryegrass first, and then it'll be their oats. They'll slowly work onto the brassicas. So to overcome that and the overgrazing effect, obviously, because then that's a loss of production, is with increasing our stocking numbers, our stocking density per hectare. We're not crash grazing, we're just grazing at a higher density where we're limiting that preferential grazing. The other limiting factor and the other challenge is weed control, especially in the mixed species. You've got to use your high stocking densities to keep those unwanted species away. So we got into multiple species. Number 1 is that holistic soil health reason. 2 was giving those animals the preference of actual grazing what they want or what they need. And 3, the bang for buck / safety net of having something growing. They're probably the 3 major reasons why we got into it, and I bloody love it. It's making the farm more resilient, therefore it's making our business resilient in a changing environment.